Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always excited to explore new corners of the DeFi world.
Today it's all about ATYM Token. You sent over some info on it and gotta say, it looks pretty interesting. We've got features, tech, tokenomics, even some user reviews, a lot to unpack.
Yeah, definitely a lot to dig into. I'm curious to see if ATYM can live up to all the hype.
Well, let's start with the basics. What exactly is ATYM Token? What are they trying to solve?
So from what we have here, it looks like ATYM is set to launch in early 2025 on the ATYM network. Their mission is to revolutionize decentralized finance with advanced blockchain technology. It's a bold claim.
It is, and they're planning an airdrop too, right?
Right. Airdrops can be a really effective way for new projects to gain traction and distribute tokens. Gets people's attention for sure.
Okay, makes sense. Now let's talk about what makes ATYM stand out. The excerpts you sent over highlighted some interesting features, starting with advanced security. Seems like security is a must-have in DeFi, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's the foundation of trust in any financial system, especially in the decentralized world. AEYM claims to use state-of-the-art cryptographic algorithms and multi-layer security protocols to protect user assets. They're definitely prioritizing security.
That's good to hear. Next up is lightning-fast transactions. Who doesn't love speed, especially with money?
Speed is key in finance, and this is where their choice of the Tenon network comes in. ATYM is leveraging Tenon's capabilities to allow near instantaneous transaction confirmations. It can really change how we think about payments.
Interesting. Choosing to build on Token instead of a more well-known network like Ethereum, any specific reason for that?
That's a good question. Well, Ethereum, while being the most well-known platform for DeFi, has had some issues with scalability and high transaction costs. Tenon, on the other hand, is built for speed and efficiency. Looks like ATM is betting on Tenon's potential to become a major player.
So taking a bit of a gamble, but it could have a big payoff if Token takes off. We've got speed and security. What else?
Global accessibility. That's another big part of their vision. They want to break down geographical barriers, make financial services accessible worldwide.
Okay, I can see how that would appeal to users who don't have access to traditional finance. Cutting-edge security, fast transactions, global accessibility. Now, I'm really curious about the tech behind all this. What can you tell us about ATYM's tech stack?
Well, one of their key features is a scalable infrastructure. That means the system can handle massive growth, process tons of transactions. They claim to be able to handle millions of transactions per second.
Millions? That's incredible. How do they verify all those transactions?
This is where it gets interesting. They're using a hybrid consensus mechanism that combines proof of stake, or POS, with Byzantine fault tolerance, or BFT.
Hybrid approach, huh? Why did they go that route?
They're aiming for the best of both worlds. Proof of stake is kind of like voting with your tokens. The more tokens you stake, the more influence you have in verifying transactions and securing the network. It incentivizes good behavior.
So it rewards participation and keeps things secure. What about Byzantine fault tolerance?
BFT adds an extra layer of protection. Let's say some participants in the network try to cheat or disrupt the system. BFT makes sure the system still works correctly, even if some actors behave maliciously.
Like a backup plan in case things go wrong. Smart. So they've got this combo working to keep things secure and running smoothly. But what about actually verifying a transaction? What are the steps involved?
ATYM breaks it down into 5 key steps. First, a transaction is submitted to the network. Then network nodes, basically computers running the ATYM software, validate the transaction, making sure it follows the rules.
An initial check to catch any suspicious activity. What's next?
After validation, the nodes need to reach consensus. They need to agree that the transaction is legit before it can be processed.
Okay, so it's not just one computer making the decision. More secure that way. And once they reach consensus,
A new block is created on the blockchain. A block is like a digital ledger entry that records a bunch of transactions. So the transaction gets added to this new block.
a permanent record of the transaction. What's the final step?
Confirmation. Once the block containing the transaction is added to the blockchain, the transaction is final and can't be reversed.
5 steps to ensure secure transactions. A lot going on, but it sounds well designed. What other cool tech are they using?
One of the most exciting aspects is smart contract integration. Smart contracts are basically self-executing contracts written in code. They're changing how we interact with financial systems.
I've heard of smart contracts, but why are they so important for DeFi?
Imagine financial agreements that are automated, transparent, and tamper-proof. Smart contracts eliminate intermediaries, reduce costs, and make things more efficient. ATYM uses this technology to enable the creation of complex, decentralized applications, or dApps, and automated financial instruments.
Like having a digital lawyer and financial advisor rolled into one.
Exactly. It's about empowering individuals to manage their finances in ways that were never possible before.
Okay, cutting-edge security, fast transactions, global accessibility, and smart contracts. ATIM is building quite a case.
Let's talk about the ATYM token itself. What about the tokenomics? How many tokens are there, and how will they be distributed?
They've set a total supply of 500 billion ATIM tokens.
500 billion. That's a lot. How will they maintain the token's value with so many in circulation? What's the strategy?
While their distribution is interesting, 50% of the tokens are for the airdrop we talked about earlier.
Wow, that's a big chunk going to the community. What about the other half?
30% is dedicated to platform development. A good sign, showing their commitment to improving and expanding the ATYM ecosystem.
Like they're reinvesting in their own future. What will this platform development focus on?
Scalability improvements to handle more transactions, security enhancements to stay ahead of threats, integration with other blockchains to broaden their reach, and developing new financial products and services built on the ATYM platform. They're building a whole financial ecosystem. It's impressive how they're thinking long-term. What about the team? Who are the people behind ATYM?
10% of the token allocation is for the team and advisors. Pretty standard for a project this size.
All right. And the community. They're pretty crucial in a decentralized system.
Absolutely. 5% of the tokens are for community rewards, probably for things like participating in governance or contributing to development.
Smart move to keep the community engaged. And they've kept a reserve of 5% of the tokens, right? What's that for?
That reserve provides flexibility for any unexpected expenses or future initiatives. Common practice to ensure the project's sustainability.
Makes sense. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. ATYM has some ambitious goals and interesting tech, but let's get some real-world perspectives. What are people actually saying about ATYM? Are they living up to the hype?
Yeah, we actually have some early user reviews that give us a glimpse into people's experiences. Still early days, but the feedback seems positive.
What are people loving about ATYM?
Well, we have a review from Sarah Kay from the US. She says AUIM completely changed how she thinks about using cryptocurrency. She's impressed by the speed and security.
A great review. Anyone else?
Raj P. from India, a developer, loves ATYM's architecture. He says building dApps on the platform is great and praises its robustness and flexibility.
Positive feedback from the tech side, too. Looks like developers are excited about what ATYM can do.
Exactly. And finally, Elena M. from Spain, she was happy with the airdrop and is optimistic about ATYM's potential in DeFi.
3 positive reviews, all from different parts of the world. Sounds like ATYM is generating some buzz. Still early, though. Curious to see how they'll handle the challenges of the DeFi landscape.
Yeah, there's definitely more to